sports and outdoors, you can take outdoor fun to a whole new level with just the touch of a button. Because there's so much to discover on the Academy app. Create your dream outdoor living space that gets the whole family out there spending time together. Master new recipes with just the right amount of heat and the perfect spice or seasoning. And give the kids even more ways to waiting. Download the Academy Sports and Outdoors app today.
This is Sports Broadcast Solutions, a broadcasting network for everyone. Check us out at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com and become part of the digital sporting world. Sports Broadcast Solutions is a broadcasting network for everyone. Let SBS broadcast your sporting event. We have experience and can generate excitement and permanent digital memories for your team.
Tonight. That time, finally a goal for the Stampede!
We have professional videographers using high-definition modern-day cameras, color analysts, and play-by-play announcers with state-of-the-art, classy graphical scoreboards to keep you updated. Plus, we have commercials to advertise your team, club, or sponsor, and us. Plus, we do pregame and postgame interviews.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to the postgame show brought to you by Marion Central Catholic. My name's Kyle Smith. Well, my name doesn't matter. These young ladies matter. It's senior night as the Hurricanes win a battle down the stretch, 48-46.
Hi, I'm Carrie Kramer. I swim 50 breast, 50 free, and 100 back.
Whatever your sports broadcast needs, we are at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com. Check us out and become part of the digital. Sports Broadcast Solutions is a broadcasting network for everyone. For those of you who would like to broadcast or live stream your event, or maybe make a highlight tape, but would like a sponsor to fund the event, SBS has a myriad of ways to advertise your sponsor during our broadcasts. We have commercials. We have on-air reads by the announcers.
Albatross Physical Therapy and Wellness specializes in pain-free.
We have graphics, and we have watermarks. Finally, Sports Broadcast Solutions can create a commercial for you or your sponsor. Whatever your sports broadcast needs, we are at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com. Check us out and become part of the digital sporting world.
He's going to take it himself for a championship. A double play wins it the break.
Turn it to the end zone. What a catch. Mackay touchdown.
Into the layup goes at the buzzer.
Wins it. The championship.
This is Sports Broadcast Solutions, a broadcasting network for everyone. Check us out at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com and become part of the digital sporting world. Sports Broadcast Solutions is a broadcasting network for everyone. Let SBS broadcast your sporting event. We have experience and can generate excitement and permanent digital memories for your team.
Tonight. That time, finally a goal for the Stampede!
We have professional videographers using high-definition modern-day cameras, color analysts, and play-by-play announcers with state-of-the-art, Class C graphical scoreboards to keep you updated. Plus, we have commercials to advertise your team, club, or sponsor, and us. Plus, we do pregame and postgame interviews.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to the post-game show brought to you by Marion Central Catholic. My name's Kyle Smith. But my name doesn't matter. These young ladies matter. It's senior night as the Hurricanes win a battle down the stretch, 48-46.
Hi, I'm Carrie Kramer. I swim 50 breast, 50 free, and 100 back.
Whatever your sports broadcast needs, we are at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com. Check us out and become part of the digital sporting world. Sports Broadcast Solutions is a broadcasting network for everyone. For those of you who would like to broadcast or live stream your event, or maybe make a highlight tape but would like a sponsor to fund the event, SBS has a myriad of ways to advertise your sponsor during our broadcasts. We have commercials. We have on-air reads by the announcers.
Albatross Physical Therapy and Wellness specializes in pain-free.
We have graphics. And we have watermarks. Finally, Sports Broadcast Solutions can create a commercial for you or your sponsor. Whatever your sports broadcast needs, we are at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com. Check us out and become part of the digital sporting world.
This NFHS Network Championship event is brought to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors.
With Academy Sports and Outdoors, you can take outdoor fun to a whole new level with just a touch of a button. Because there's so much to discover on the Academy app. Create your dream outdoor living space that gets the whole family out there spending time together. Master new recipes with just the right amount of heat and the perfect spice or seasoning. And give the kids even more ways to play. Great times are waiting. Download the Academy Sports and Outdoors app today.
This is Sports Broadcast Solutions, a broadcasting network for everyone. Check us out at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com and become part of the digital sporting world.
This NFHS Network Championship event is brought to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors.
With Academy Sports and Outdoors, you can take outdoor fun to a whole new level with just the touch of a button. Because there's so much to discover on the Academy app. Create your dream outdoor living space that gets the whole family out there spending time together. Master new recipes with just the right amount of heat and the perfect spice or seasoning. And give the kids even more ways to play. Great times are waiting. Download the Academy Sports and Outdoors app today.
This NFHS Network Championship event is brought to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors.
With Academy Sports and Outdoors, you can take outdoor fun to a whole new level with just the touch of a button. Because there's so much to discover on the Academy app. Create your dream outdoor living space that gets the whole family out there spending time together. Master new recipes with just the right amount of heat and the perfect spice or seasoning. And give the kids even more ways to play. Great times are waiting. Download the Academy Sports and Outdoors app today.
This NFHS Network Championship event is brought to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors.
or the best in the outdoors, the North Face, Yeti, Columbia, or Magellan Outdoors, Academy has it all. Whether you're celebrating familiar traditions or exploring new ones, we've got what you need in here to have fun out there. Start your next adventure and make lifelong family memories at Academy Sports and Outdoors. Download our app or shop at academy.com.
This NFHS Network Championship event is brought to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors.
From CEFCU Arena on the campus of Illinois State University in Normal, the NFHS TV network brings you the IHSA Super Sectionals. Tonight, the first Super Sectional, the Class 1A Super Sectional, a ticket to be punched to State Farm Arena. At the State Farm Arena in Champaign, it'll be the St. Francis de Sales Pioneers from Chicago taking on the Cornerstone Christian Academy Cyclones of Bloomington. A very pleasant good evening from CEFCU Arena. L.A. Decker along with Bob Vilslot. And we are courtside for this contest. The first of two we'll have for you tonight. The opening contest is the 1A Super Sectional. One of these two teams is going to Champaign. And these two teams, they don't look alike, and they definitely don't play alike, maybe sometimes. But they do have players that we want to keep an eye on tonight.
Apparently the top two players at St. Francis as Aiden Stuckey, the point guard, 5'10", and then in the middle, very, very tough to stop. Where'd he go? There he is. Brandon Lowe, number 11, 6'6", good rebounder, strong inside. From what we see on the warm-ups, St. Francis definitely taller, a little bit more athletic. We are figuring that Cornerstone Christian is very disciplined, will work it around for a good shot, although from what we're hearing, they're more of a fast break offense, and they've got good three-point shooting. Cornerstone Christian's 31-5 on the year. St. Francis de Sales is 14-21 on the year, but plays a lot of the 4A schools in the Chicago area. As usual, it's contrasting styles. The inner city teams against the downstate teams. So it's going to be Chicago versus downstate. We'll see how this goes. It's hard to predict a winner from this one.
In the same way we said that the contrasting styles, they do play similar in the fact that they both can go up tempo. Chicago St. Francis will take the ball, and when they get over half court, put a stopwatch on this, they average 8 seconds once they get over the timeline to take a shot.
Yeah, we figure it's going to be a high-scoring, fast-paced game, and we're going to see who can keep up. Now, Cornerstone doesn't use a lot of their bench, so with this kind of fast pace, maybe they'll run out of a little bit of gas. Not sure, but it's going to be interesting. It's really hard to predict. Normally, I like to predict who's going to win before the game starts based on tendencies, but this is going to be a tough one. The difference here, though, is St. Francis is 14-21, so they do have some Achilles heels somewhere against good teams. Cornerstone is a good team, and they are 31-5, and very few teams have exploited their Achilles heels.
St. Francis de Sales win in the sectional over Serena 59-56, and Cornerstone got here by defeating Lexington 46-33 at the Hayward sectional. Both teams coming in on winning streaks. For St. Francis de Sales, a 4-game winning streak. For Cornerstone, it's a 6-game winning streak. The 31-5 Cyclones of Cornerstone Christian out of Bloomington taking on the 14-21 Pioneers of St. Francis de Sales of Chicago. We'll have the starting lineups in the opening tip coming up in just a little bit. And coming up, more basketball right here from CEFCU Arena on the NFHS Television Network.
Pisaccu Arena on behalf of more than 800 member schools of the Illinois High School Association. Welcome to tonight's basketball game featuring Cornerstone Christian Academy and St. Francis Xavier. This is the March Madness. Law schools and other states, colleges, and universities enjoy this time of the basketball season. The first cases of boys March Madness were diagnosed in IHSA schools in the early 1900s. Nobody does it any better. Enjoy tonight's portion of March Madness. And now, ladies and gentlemen, please join our student athletes and coaches in honor of Americans celebrating its freedom and those who protect it. Please rise as one nation and one people for the playing of our national anthem. And now, let's meet the contestants for tonight's game. First appearing as the visiting team on the scoreboard, the Cyclones from Cornerstone Christian Academy. They are tonight's game, the record of 31-5. Adding our 5 of the senior number 13, Connor Scott. Adding forward, one senior number 14, Jackson Faber. Another 6'1" senior number 15, Austin Henry. Another 6'1" senior number 20, Kate Witt. And forward 6'2" senior number 31, Dave Wolf. The head coach of the Cyclones is John Stewart. And now, let's meet the starters for the whole team, the Pioneers of St. Francis Xavier. Later tonight, game of record 14 and 21. Here are the starters. At a guard by the junior number 0, Eddie Bell Jr. At a forward by the senior number 1, Aiden Stuckey. At a guard 6'4", senior number 2, Jamari Malone. At a guard 6'6", a senior number 11, Brandon Lowe Jr. And at forward 6'7", junior number 33, Cyril Nichols Jr. To the Pioneers is Joel Nelson. Your officials for tonight's game are Mr. Kurt Sig, Mr. Rich Dolan, and Mr. Brad Parrish.
All right, once again, those starting lineups for Cornerstone: Connor Scott, Jackson Baber, Austin Hennard, Tate Witt, and Cade Wolf. For St. Francis de Sales, Eddie Bell Jr., Aiden Stuckey, Shamari Malone, Brandon Lowe Jr., and Cyril Nichols Jr., the starting 5 for head coach Jawan Nelson. The head coach of the Cornerstone Christian Academy Cyclones is John Shippert, and we are set to punch one ticket to Champaign. St. Francis de Sales in the home white uniforms, trimmed in navy blue and gold, and Cornerstone in black jerseys with green and white trim, green numerals on the white jerseys. And our referee tonight is Mr. Brad Parrish. Kurt Sig and Rich Doman are the umpires, and we are underway with the opening tip, won by St. Francis de Sales in the front court. Bell top of the key. Stuckey will fire the 3. Offensive rebound by Cyril Nichols.
And that's going to be the key to the game. The thing that strikes me right away is the height advantage that St. Francis has.
2-0 early in the going first quarter. Cyclones in the front court. Wolf gets it down low. Cutting inside. Good move. And a basket by Connor Scott.
Nice pick to free Connor Scott right underneath for the left-handed layup. Well done. Worked it for the nice 2-foot shot.
Bell sets the offense up for the Pioneers.
So far, St. Francis took a long shot and stolen away.
Here's a steal by Scott. Layup, good. 4-0. Cornerstone, 1 minute gone by here in the opening quarter. Bell angles left with the dribble. Tries to work off a low screen into the corner. Kicks it back out to the top, Stuckey. He will dial it up from any area code. Here's a knockaway. Nice play that time by Cornerstone as Austin Hennard knocked the pass away from a cutting Eddie Bell. It will be Pioneers basketball.
St. Francis holding on the ball to a good shot. Oh, there's the 3. He got fouled, no call.
And he got it.
On the follow through, he got a wrist. Still went in.
Stuckey hits the first triple of the contest, and it's 5-4 St. Francis de Sales.
And so far, Stuckey the only one that's shooting from outside to start the play.
Scott inside, goes inside the Pioneer defense and will go to the line to shoot 2.
Yeah, fouled by Eddie Bell on the drive.
So Connor Scott to the line. First free throw opportunities of the evening for either team. And the first of 2 is good. Second one on the way, and good. Cornerstone 6, St. Francis de Sales 5. Malone drives the lane. Floater no. Rebound saved back in. Cyclones have it. Wolf will bring it over the timeline. 3 for Scott. That's way off.
Yeah. Long shot, well defended. Probably not wise to take that. Move it inside.
Low over the timeline, hands back to Stuckey. He'll drive all the way inside. Floater on the way. Offensive foul called against Aiden Stuckey.
I like that he took it to the rim, though. That could have gone either way. It could have been a charge, could have been a blocking call. This time they called it charge.
Now, Bob, keep in mind that circle is there for the college play. It has no bearing on high school play, so many fans who might see that semicircle there might think, oh, he was set up.
Yeah,
here's Scott with another great move. He scores and will go to the line.
Second time hit for him at the line now. So the referee's making a big difference in this game by calling that a charge, not blocking. The other end, Scott drives in for the layup.
First substitution of the contest is Brent McLean comes in for the Pioneers.
I'm a little surprised Stuckey went out, but maybe the coach is saying, I think we want somebody else to shoot the ball for a little bit here.
As Connor Scott makes the free throw, he's got all 9 points for Cornerstone. 9-5 Cyclones. Here's Lowe from 15. No. Austin Hennard the rebound to Scott. Baber out of the corner to Wolf. Tate Witt sends it out to Scott. Inside Wolf, goes around the basket, takes it around inside, hook shot on the way, rolls in.
I was about to say no room, but he circled around to get free and made the shot. Excellent move underneath. 11-5 with 5 minutes to go.
Timeout called by St. Francis de Sales. 5:04 to play in the first. 11-5. Cornerstone leads it, and we're back after this timeout on the NFL.
This NFHS Network Championship event is brought to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors.
Back at CEFCU Arena in Normal. L.A. Decker and Tom Villasette with you. 5:04 to play here in the first, and Cornerstone Christian Academy has taken control of the contest early, out to a 6-point lead over St. Francis de Sales of Chicago. Pioneers have the basketball following the timeout as Eddie Bell sets up the offense, goes to Lowe on the right, back to Moore. Now to Jackson, who drives down the lane. Kick into the corner. Bell will fire from 12. That's off the mark. Rebound Wolf for Cornerstone.
Another air ball makes you wonder a little bit about nerves.
Sight lines can also be an issue. This may be the first time both of these teams are playing in a huge arena. This is a full college arena.
Extra 10 feet on the court.
Hennard dribbles to the free throw line. Into the corner for Tate Witt. Back out top, Hennard. Down the lane. Pitches it back to Wolf. Free throw extended right.
Yeah, this is where you got to like Cornerstone's patience as then they launch the
Witt
three.
for three.
And in. Very disciplined offense from Cornerstone.
Tate Witt with the three, and it's 14-5 Cornerstone.
9-point lead midway through the first quarter. We're going to find out if St. Francis gets rattled or calms down and punches it in down low with their height advantage.
McLean hands it back to Lowe, goes down the lane, no, but a foul coming up against the Cyclones. It's going to be called before the shot.
That's exactly what St. Francis has to do. Stop taking outside shots, hammer it down low with their height advantage as Stuckey comes back in, who launched the first 2 3-point shots of the game.
Fouls on Jackson Baber, his first and first on the Cyclones, as Eddie Bell will check out for a moment. Shamari Malone back in for the Pioneers. Low to the free throw line, down the lane, layup on the way, no. Rebound tipped around, still loose, nobody controlling it. Finally grabbed by Wolf, and a loose ball foul on the Pioneers.
I like how Lowe's taking to the hoop both times. First time he was fouled and missed the shot. That time he just missed the shot. But he's got the moves to get inside. That's going to be the secret for how St. Francis can get back into this game. Against a very disciplined Cornerstone offense, is at least what it appears to be so far.
3 team fouls now on the Cyclones. Connor Scott in the front court. To Cade Wolf. Tate Witt, top of the key. Hennard fires it on the way, on the rim, rolls home.
Good move, went body hunting in the lane, created some space, made for an easy layup.
16-5 Cornerstone with an 11-point lead, 3:10 to play in the opening quarter. Stuckey off the screen from Nichols. Back over to McLean.
This is a tough defense by Cornerstone.
Lowe crosses over, 20-footer, short. Rebound, picked up by the Cyclones.
So far, Lowe's been the only one that's been able to penetrate. That time he took an outside shot, settled for that shot. They're going to have to drive it in if they're going to get back in it.
Austin Hennard with the basketball. Hands it off to Scott. Into the corner for Witt, right side. Hennard, up fake, drops it off. Jumper on the way for 3. That's short. Hennard, the offensive board. Spins inside, got inside, traveled. Turnover back to the Pioneers as coming into the contest is Demarion Walls for the first time, 6'4" senior for St. Francis de Sales. Also, Kevin Jackson, 5'10" sophomore, is going to check in for the Pioneers, and they want a timeout to talk things over. With 2:25 to play here in quarter number 1, Cornerstone leading 16-5 over St. Francis de Sales on the NFHS television network.
This is Sports Broadcast Solutions, a broadcasting network for everyone. Check us out at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com and become part of the digital sporting world.
He's going to take it himself for a championship. A double play wins it for Frazier.
Turn it to the end zone. What a catch. McKay's on touchdown.
Into the layup goes at the buzzer.
Wins it. The championship.
Back at FQ Arena, 2:25 to play in the opening quarter. Cornerstone Christian from Bloomington with an 11-point lead over St. Francis de Sales of Chicago. The winner goes on to play at the State Farm Center for the state championship this weekend.
So the only thing that happened between those two timeouts was 5 points by Cornerstone. And
there's a steal by Scott. Hennard, layup good.
So far, St. Francis has no answer for anything in this game so far. He's subbed a couple times, couple timeouts. The only thing that seems to work a little bit is Lowe getting inside. And
there's a
Stuckey
move
on
by
the drive.
Stuckey. Rebound again by Wolf.
And again, came up empty.
Hennard takes it to the hole, and a foul. Austin Hennard with 6, and Cornerstone is in charge at the moment.
Yeah, so far there's no answer from St. Francis on either end of the court.
Eddie Bell and Shamari Malone back in for the Pioneers as Austin Hennard to the free throw line to try to complete the old-fashioned three-point play. Missed the free throw, first miss of the night, and the rebound by Lowe for the Pioneers. Bounce to Stuckey, who takes it down the lane. Kick out to Bell, top of the key. A 3 on the way, that rattles out. McLean missed it, and the Cyclones have it. Cade Wolf over the timeline. Hands it off to Connor Scott. Something we talked about in the pregame is discipline, and right now the discipline factor is definitely in Cornerstone's favor. They have taken advantage of that.
And with the lead and the ball, they can eat the whole entire rest of the quarter if they want to, unless they get fouled, of course.
Reach and foul against the Pioneers. That's going to be on Eddie. It's going to be on Aiden Stuckey. That's 2 on Stuckey.
Sixth team foul, next one there at the line.
Jack Clark, 5'7" senior, checks in. And in talking with some of the people who have covered Cornerstone throughout the year, one of those people being Dan Kinzinger, he says that young man Clark can light it up almost like Vinnie Johnson of the old Detroit Pistons. Ball will stay with the Cyclones.
Yeah, that's quite the favorable comparison. But the way they move the ball there, it's going to be hard for St. Francis to press in any way. You want to trap in the corners and leave one guy open, maybe furthest from the ball, to try to get the ball back. They're going to have to change something up on defense.
There's an inbounds pass knocked away. It was touched last by Jackson Weber. And it will stay with the Pioneers. Final 30 seconds to play here in the opening quarter.
This Cornerstone defense has been outstanding. St. Francis only 5 points in the whole first quarter here. 15-point lead after 1.
Bell to the top of the key. Over to Jackson. Back to Bell with 15 seconds. Bell angled left against Clark. Down to 10. Gets a screen from Lowe down the lane. Floater, short. Rebound, Wolf. Scott will let it go from three-quarter court. It is short. And 1 quarter in the books from CEFCU Arena with your score. Cornerstone 20. St. Francis de Sales 5 on the NFHS television network.
This NFHS Network Championship event is brought to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors.
Back at SEFQ Arena, L.A. Decker, along with Bob Villasek. 8 minutes gone by, and Cornerstone shooting 80% from the field in the first quarter, Bob.
And at the other end, it's 18% for St. Francis. St. Francis is going to have to change something. They're going to have to drive the ball in, take shorter shots. Right now, the rim has been very, very solid. Everything they shoot's a miss. There's a blocked shot, but they're going to call a foul.
Wolf went inside and got hit as he went to the basket, and that will be team foul number 7 against the Pioneers.
One would think Cornerstone can't keep up that 80% field goal shooting, and of course, St. Francis has to hope that they can bring that 18% up. But right now, they've got good shots. They're just missing them, and missing them by a lot. They've had a couple of air balls. St. Francis head coach Juwan Nelson's continuing to sub players in and out to try to figure out how to stem this wave. 22-5.
Wolf makes both free throws. 17-point lead. McLean down the lane.
It's very good team defense down there.
Had it knocked out of bounds by Hennard. Austin Hennard with the block away. It stays with the Pioneers.
Cornerstone makes it tough to drive the lane. They make it look like you can drive the lane, but then the second person pops in, forcing you to shoot a three from where you didn't really want to shoot the three from.
Low.
The one guy who can get inside.
Back out top to Bell, who will drive in. Kick it out to the corner. 3 on the way by Jackson. That's no good. Rebound tipped up, controlled by Nichols. McLean falling to the deck. A 3 on the way. That's off. And the rebound to Tate Witt. Lead pass ahead, knocked away. Couldn't save it back in bounds, though, as Brent McLean was down court to knock it away from the leaking Cyclone, trying to get ahead of the fast break. It'll stay with the Cyclones, though.
I like that the Cyclones are not staying back, taking it up slowly. They're disciplined on offense, but I like when they have a break, they're going to take it. It's early in the game still.
Witt inside, back out to Wolf, top of the key. Kicks into the corner. Scott for 3. No. Rebound by Nichols.
Finally a missed shot.
Low takes it inside, gets around Scott, layup good.
That was a good no call by the referees. There's contact underneath the basket.
22-7. Cornerstone still maintains a 15-point lead. Scott to Witt on the left, back to the top, and Wolf over to Hennard. Austin Hennard goes to Wolf. He'll back things away from Nichols, and now Coach Nelson tells him come out and play him. Got to get a count on him. Wolf into the corner. Witt for 3. No. Rebound by Nichols. Hands it off to Bell, who motors into the front court. Kicks out to Lowe.
This is where St. Francis has to be equally patient on offense.
Bell down the lane.
Wait till they get a good shot and close. Get an offensive rebound. This is too far.
Jackson pulls up for a college 3. That's no good. And the offensive rebound attempt by Nichols.
Yeah, this will be over the back.
He went over the top of Wolf to try to get it.
He's 6'7", but you still got to get position.
That's 2 on Nichols.
Yeah, I still highly recommend to St. Francis move the ball down low. Then have a weak side rebounder, preferably Nichols.
And Cade Wolf to shoot the 1-and-1.
So the 15-point lead stays 15 points with an opportunity for a couple more.
6'2" lefty delivers it good and gets the bonus. Second one is off the mark. Rebound tipped around. Still loose on the floor. Austin Hennard gets to it. And are they calling it jump ball?
Yeah,
yes.
This will be a jump ball.
Jump ball, and the alternate possession will belong to St. Francis. So the Pioneers will have the ball. 5:43 remaining here in the first half. Bell goes to Lowe on the right. Back to Stuckey. Crosses over. Top of the key fires. That one partially blocked. Rebound tipped around, and it's out of bounds to St. Francis de Sales.
Yeah, the key word here for St. Francis is they need patience, and Stuckey just didn't have it. He saw an open shot. Any open shot Stuckey likes, he'll take it.
Stuckey will fire from 17. That's off the mark. Rebound tapped out. Still loose on the floor. Now player was laying out of bounds while contacting the ball. And they got a timeout. Ooh, they actually had control of the ball and got the timeout. So a 30-second timeout with 5:23 to play in the first half. We'll keep it here during this 30-second timeout.
I'm not exactly sure how they had possession on that long to make the timeout.
That was very close, but our vantage point was not quite as good as the official, and he was right there on top of the play and called it immediately.
We thought St. Francis was going to get the rebound, but then Connor Scott ran by almost like a running back, made it look like a fumble in football, and next thing you know, Cornerstone has a 20-second timeout. That would be one to play back to see how exactly that happened. 16-point lead now.
Cyclones will inbound at three-quarter court in the backcourt.
And what strikes me isn't that Cornerstone has 23, but St. Francis only has 7.
Here's Scott down the lane.
That could, yeah.
Kicks it out. Now a foul on the drive.
Right, reach in.
Going to be called on Brent McLean. Nine team fouls now against the Pioneers. Connor Scott to shoot the 1-and-1.
Absolutely cannot run beside Connor Scott. You have to get in between him and the basket, make him go around you. If there's any body contact or reaching in, that's going to get called every time.
Shamari Malone back in for the Pioneers. One more for Scott. He eyes it and got it. Does not take a long time. He gets the ball and shoots.
As opposed to Giannis.
11 for Connor Scott. Here's Bell, kicked into the corner. Marion Walls got it back out. 3 on the way. That's way off the mark by Stuckey. And picked out of the air by Connor Scott.
Stuckey continuing to shoot.
Loose ball picked up by the Pioneers, and they control. Bell kicked out for a 3 by Malone. That's off the back iron, no. Long rebound controlled by Aiden Stuckey, who goes down the lane with a scoop, no, but he hits the deck hard and will go to the line to shoot 2.
If Stuckey's going to shoot it, I'd rather have him go down the lane and get fouled like that than have a three-pointer from beyond the arc. And 18 points is a long way to catch up.
Only a second team foul against Cornerstone.
No rotation on that ball at the free throw line.
Second one good. He splits the pair. He's got 4 of the 8 points for the Pioneers.
Maybe that'll get him out of his shooting slump, making that one free throw.
Scott back to Wolf, top of the key as Cornerstone holds. Scott, bounce down low for Wolf, spins it back out to Witt. To the top in Austin Hennard. He spins down the lane, finger rolls it in.
That possession was saved by Wolf, fouling a little bit out of control, behind the back pass into the corner, and kept that possession alive and caused the basket to happen.
Hennard with 8. And Cornerstone, 27-8 the lead. Bell fadeaway on the rim, rolls home.
It went in, but I would have liked to have seen him body hunt a little bit, go straight up, get the foul instead of the fadeaway jumper.
Here's a steal by the Pioneers. Stuckey, lead pass ahead to Bell. Takes it around Wolf. Knocked away, out of bounds. It'll be Cyclone basketball.
A 2-on-1 break that they couldn't convert. Good defense. Stayed on the ground, arms up. Tough to call a foul on that.
Austin Hennard over the timeline. Goes to Scott on the left side, who will walk inside Reggie's beak. Wolf whips the pass inside. Nice look for Jackson Baber, and he scores. There's a pull-up jumper by Malone. That's off the mark. Baber the rebound for Cornerstone.
Again, I like the no call by the referees. Could have been blocking. No call.
Wolf drives to the inside. Drops it off to Bader. He scores.
This Wolf, 2 assists in a row. That good behind-the-back pass at the other end on the third possession before that. They're running their offense through Wolf underneath. Sometimes he comes out on top. Excellent court vision.
21-point Cyclone lead. Here's a jumper on the way by Lowe. That's off the mark. And rebound tapped out of bounds. It'll stay with the Pioneers. Cyril Nichols Jr. will check back in for head coach Jawan Nelson as Demarion Walls will come out. Lowe to Stuckey, top of the key. Swings it back over to Bell, who will spin down the lane. Kicked into the corner. 3 on the way by Malone. That's off the mark. Rebound Bader for Cornerstone. He has no numbers. He will stop and bring it back out. Approaching 2 minutes to play here in the first half. Connor Scott to the rack. Scoring.
Good penetration down the middle. Another layup, easy one for Scott.
13 to match his uniform number. There's Bell in against Witt. Bounces it back out. Goes into the backcourt. Picked up by Hennard. Reverse layup good. And a timeout is going to be called by St. Francis de Sales. 1:53 to play here in the first half. It's Cornerstone by 25 over St. Francis de Sales. We're back in a minute on the NFHS Television Network.
Academy Sports and Outdoors has something for everyone in your family. From top sports brands to backyard cooking or the best in the outdoors. The North Face, Yeti, Columbia, or Magellan Outdoors, Academy has it all. Whether you're celebrating familiar traditions or exploring new ones, we've got what you need in here to have fun out there. Start your next adventure and make lifelong family memories at Academy Sports and Outdoors. Download our app or shop at academy.com.
Back at CEFCU Arena, L.A. Decker and Bob Villicent with you as the Cornerstone Christian Academy Cyclones have dominated the first half against St. Francis de Sales of Chicago. Shooting 76% from the field. They have a 25-point lead with 1:53 to play in the first half, Bob.
Yeah, all that happened between those two timeouts was outscoring. Cornerstone outscored St. Francis 15-5. But they're cooling off on the shooting. They went from 80% down to 76, right?
I think I will take that. If I'm Coach Shepard, I will take that.
Right, and then on the other end, St. Francis, who was at 18%, is also cooling off all the way down to 17%. So St. Francis haven't been able to change anything in this game so far.
Pioneers have the ball following the timeout. They have 2 remaining for the contest. Here's Stuckey. Beyond the arc left side.
Yeah,
takes it inside, pass knocked away and stolen.
Yeah, how are you going to find a 25-point magic bullet?
Wolf holds.
He's been tremendous on offense with his court vision and passing.
And he's played a pretty good amount of defense as well tonight. Wolf takes it inside. Layup with the left hand is good. Cade Wolf.
Yeah, I can only imagine good colleges are looking to him to play, probably guard at the next level, but this guy is good. Terrific court vision, ball handling. This is an ill-advised shot that goes in.
I believe they would call that no, 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 yes.
Yes, that's exactly what you call it as a coach, right?
3 for Chamari Malone, his first of the contest. Under a minute to play here in the first half. 37-13, Cornerstone.
If I were St. Francis, I would try to trap him in the corners, maybe a 1-3-1 half-court trap, full-court press, but Cornerstone is very disciplined. You got to watch out for layup time type plays.
Bernard gives it back to Bader. Jackson Bader down the lane. Kicked into the corner for Witt with 25. And they'll reset.
Yeah, they'll take this down to the wire, I'm guessing.
Austin Hennard hands it back to Bader with 20. Bader with a double team. Kicks it back out. Wolf hands it back to Bader with 10. Bader down the lane. Kicked out Hennard. Down the lane, dropped off. Bader, reverse is good.
I like the reverse.
Jackson,
right at the buzzer.
Jackson Baber gives Cornerstone their biggest lead of the night. 26. We're halftime. Cornerstone Christian of Bloomington leads St. Francis de Sales in the Class 1A Super Sectional by the score of 39-13. We'll come back and recap half number 1 and get you set for half number 2 following this on the NFHS Television Network.
There's only one present-day Major League Baseball team to never advance to the World Series, and you guessed it, the unluckiest of those MLB franchises is the one and only Seattle Mariners. In case you believe in curses, Mariners fans like to blame the team's unlucky ways on the curse of the Seattle Pilots. If you didn't know, the Pilots were actually the first MLB team in the history of Seattle baseball, but because fans didn't come to the games, Bud Selig and his ownership group bought the Pilots for $10.8 million to bring the franchise to Milwaukee. The Milwaukee Brewers began operations in 1970, meaning the Pilots only lasted 1 year in Seattle. The Pilots filed for bankruptcy on April 1st, 1970, and since then, Mariners fans have been subjected to lackluster baseball. If you're a fan of superstitions, the legend goes that because enough fans didn't attend the Pilot home games, a curse was put on the Brewers and any franchise that would materialize in Seattle thereafter. Since the Pilots left in 1970, the Brewers and Mariners have only played in one combined World Series. Even though the Mariners won 116 regular season games in 2001, the M's still didn't advance to the World Series after having to face off against the New York Yankees during the American League Championship Series. Fans like to point to the curse as the Pilots could have stayed in Seattle if there were more fans at the games. However, according to numerous reports, the situation at Sick's Stadium was so dire that fans couldn't even flush the toilets during home games. Sick's Stadium was reportedly called a pig pen by Oakland Athletics owner Chuck Finley, and the home of the Pilots only allowed 11,000 fans entering the 1969 season. Fans had every right to avoid attending Pilots games, especially since ticket prices for the Pilots were some of the highest in the league. Still, it's quite a coincidence that when the Mariners were 3 weeks away from playing in the 2001 American League Division Series, tragedy struck at the Twin Towers. Do I believe in curses? Absolutely not. But the Yankees were media darlings that October after what happened at the World Trade Center. The talk of baseball prior to September 11th was Ichiro Suzuki's incredible rookie season, and the Mariners looking to obtain the best regular season record in MLB history. But after 9/11, the Mariners were considered more of the indifferent Pacific Coast ball club than the rooting interests of fans. Bud Selig bought the Pilots, and since then, the Brewers have only played in one World Series. They've only won 5 division titles, and they've only played in the National League Championship Series twice since changing leagues in 1997. Did the baseball gods curse the Brewers for not allowing the Pilots enough time to establish a Seattle franchise? Time will only tell. For those of you who aren't superstitious, the reason for the Mariners' misfortunes have to do with crappy scouting, subsequent lowly draft selections, and overall player development. However, the history of low attendance continued with the early years of Mariners baseball. After the Commissioner's Office awarded Seattle another MLB franchise following the breach of contract lawsuit against the American League, the Mariners continue to have low attendance numbers, similar to the Pilots. The Mariners wouldn't have a winning season until 1991, and even when the ball club showed signs of winning, the M's traded away starting pitcher Bill Swift. Swift won the ERA crown in 1992 and finished third in Cy Young voting in 1993. Swift was traded to San Francisco following that 1991 winning season in Seattle. Things started to turn around during the early 90s once the new owner, Hiroshi Yamauchi, signed manager Lou Piniella. The Mariners would go on to win its first division title in 1995 and win its first postseason series. It was Seattle's first postseason appearance since the franchise began operations in 1977. In fact, if the Mariners hadn't won the 1995 American League West Division, the franchise could have easily left Seattle. The California Angels blew a 13-game lead over Seattle, and the Mariners defeated the Angels 9-1 in the one-game playoff for the AL West Division crown. But, as per the curse of the Seattle Pilots, the M's always find themselves just short of an American League pennant. The 95 ALCS featured two unlikely teams, the M's and the Cleveland Guardians. The Guardians, who hadn't won the pennant since 1954, were something of an underdog themselves. The 1995 season would be Seattle's third ever winning season, but they wouldn't play in the Fall Classic. The Indians/Guardians won the 1995 American League Championship Series 4-2, with the Mariners dumping their last three in the toilet. In fact, the Mariners went scoreless the last 15 innings of the ALCS. While the Mariners lost the Championship Series, it's still a season that many Seattle baseball fans remember fondly. Ken Griffey Jr.'s famous game-winning run in Game 5 of the Division Series against the Yankees inevitably led to the development of a video game, Ken Griffey Jr.'s winning run. Edgar Martinez's game-winning double from Game 5 was key in enticing the King County Council to vote on a stadium funding package to build the modern-day Safeco Field. With baseball now securely in Washington, the Mariners look to avenge its 1995 ALCS disappointment with a 1997 Fall Classic appearance. To do so, they need to first defeat the best record in the AL, the Baltimore Orioles. Incredibly, the Mariners were supposed to play the Indians, but due to the old rules of division foes not being allowed to play each other during the division series, the Mariners had to play against the best record in the American League, despite having a better record than Cleveland. Would the Mariners have fared better against Cleveland in a rematch from 1995? Who knows? Regardless, the M's lost the 1997 Division Series in 4 games. Randy Johnson was awful in the series, losing both games. The M's were even worse at home, as they lost games 1 and 2 by a combined score of 18-6. Seattle won Game 3 in Baltimore, but they only managed 2 hits at Camden Yards during Game 4, with one of those hits being a solo shot by Martinez. With basically no offense in Game 4, Randy Johnson gave up 2 runs in the bottom of the first inning, which turned out to be more than enough for the Orioles to eliminate the M's. Seattle would get back to the postseason in 2000, this time as the wildcard representative. In its first and still last ever postseason sweep, the Mariners surprisingly swept the number 1 seed in the White Sox to advance to its second ever ALCS. This time around, Derek Jeter and the Yankees achieved revenge against the Mariners. The M's fought hard, but the Yanks were just too much for Seattle. A 6-game playoff series win saw the Yankees eventually sweep the Mets for their 26th World Series title. The Yankees dominated the Mariners, as 3 of New York's wins were blowout victories. The Mariners' pitching staff just could not contain the Yankees, which was really unsettling because A-Rod led the ALCS in total bases. Seattle once again took on the Yankees in 2001, this time without Alex Rodriguez. However, Ichiro Suzuki won the unfathomable Gold Glove, Silver Slugger, Rookie of the Year, and MVP awards all in the same season as Seattle's leadoff hitter. The 2001 ALCS turned out to be even worse than 2000. With everyone seemingly rooting for the Yankees due to the events of 9/11, the Yankees became the must-watch underdogs. Remember, the Mariners ended the playoffs as the number 1 overall seed, but unlike the 1998 Yankees, who won 114 games, the 2001 Mariners didn't have a superstar besides Ichiro. Brett Boone had a career year with 37 homers and 141 RBI, but could he continue that 6% home run probability into the postseason? The 116-win Mariners entered the ALCS with Ichiro on a hot streak. Ichiro batted .600 in the 5-game division series against the Guardians, but he couldn't continue that streak into the championship series.
Back at SEFCU Arena, L.A. Decker and Bob Visselet with you as we are at halftime. Cornerstone Christian of Bloomington. We could say it's a surprise, but I don't think they're going to say it's a surprise. They are leading 39-13 over St. Francis de Sales of Chicago at halftime. And Bob, the story of the game isn't necessarily turnovers. It's what they've done with the turnovers, have Cornerstone, and their discipline on offense.
Oh, that's exactly right. They are looking like future state championships here. They're playing like a cold assassin, just essentially playing perfect basketball. They're going to have to continue to play discipline like that, continue to take good shots only, take layups. There are holes in St. Francis D to continue to drive and get those layups. But I don't know how St. Francis can get back into this game. They haven't been able to fix anything so far. It's not like the coaching staff isn't trying with timeouts and substitutions. They're just flat out shooting cold at 20%. But to get back in it, if they're gonna, how they have to do it, They need to drive to the basket, take fouls, cause somebody to get into foul trouble. Cornerstone has only made one sub, right, for one player, Jack Clark, for 58 seconds. So when you get somebody in foul trouble, that could make a difference. Don't take long shots. Don't drive and then kick it out. Use your height advantage, box out, get some offensive rebounds. And on defense, you said the word, sell out. They have to press full court, and they have to drop back into a 1-3-1 trap, continue the pace of this game. And I don't know if there is a 26-point magic bullet, though.
Well, one of the things that Cornerstone did is they took advantage of any turnovers that the Pioneers committed. Only 5 turnovers for St. Francis de Sales. They took care of the ball fairly well, but 11 points for Cornerstone off those 5 turnovers. They took advantage of everything they had.
Well, and I like how they did it. They're not going for the turnovers as much, but they're not letting St. Francis drive to the hoop. They're playing man, but then when they get on the drive, somebody else sneaks in and gets a double cover, so they can't get to the rest of the lane. St. Francis has to kick out, and that's where they either take a bad shot or pass it around and try to get another drive. But they're going to have to be patient and continue to drive. I think low is the key, but I don't know how even low gets 26 points closer in the second half.
One thing we thought that was going to be an advantage for St. Francis de Sales coming in would be their paint play inside. Cornerstone has outscored them 28-6 in the paint in the first half.
Yeah, and a lot of it is that Cade Wolf. He's just a smart player. When he gets the ball, he finds the open guy, he boxes out, and rebounds well. He's a terrific player. I'd like to see where he's going to go at the next level. He should play college somewhere. He's right here taking the ball out of bounds.
Cornerstone in the first half shot 78.9% on 15 of 19 shooting. Compare that with St. Francis de Sales, who only shot 20%, 5 of 25.
And that is the key of the game. And it's not like St. Francis had bad shots to take. They were just a little bit further from the hoop, maybe a little off balance, but maybe a little nervous. But they certainly didn't fall.
Cyclones have the basketball to start the second half, operating from right to left as we see it along with you.
Maybe it's one of the rims is smaller on one of the ends.
Wolf drops it inside. Bader's layup good. Baber again.
Made it look easy.
He's got 8 points. And the lead is 41-13. Bell on a turnaround, blocked by Wolf, but he got a piece of the arm as he went up.
But I like that, though. He got turned back, took a fadeaway jumper, and that still got blocked. Followed through and hit the arm, hence the call.
So Wolf picks up his second. First foul of the second half on either team.
My guess is Wolf knows how to play with all the way up to 4 fouls. Excellent defense. Moves the body, doesn't reach in. And even on that play, got the ball first. A little surprised the referee called the foul on the follow-through. But that's why we have the replays later.
Second one by Bell is good. He makes them both, and he's got 4 points in the contest.
Here's a little bit of a token press. I think that was meant to be a full court press, but they didn't trap anybody on that.
Baber hands it back to Scott. Cyclones set things up in the front court. Austin Hennard down the lane, had it knocked away. Picked up by Scott, who takes it to the rim. On the way, no. Foul coming up on the Pioneers. And back to the free throw line, Connor Scott.
Scott's excellent at driving to the hoop. That time he was on the left side, so he needed to use the left hand, but instead he did an underhand scoop with the right hand and was hacked on the wrist on the way up.
First team foul on the Pioneers, and Connor Scott back at the line, missed the first.
His fundamentals are so sound, I'm a little surprised he missed the free throw.
One more free throw coming up as the crowd starts making their way in. Second contest tonight is the 4A Super Sectional. That'll be between Moline and Oswego East. Here's Bell. Back out to the top for Malone's three. That rattled out. Nichols, the offensive board. Hook shot, no. And then when rebounded by Hennard for the Cyclones.
He needed to go straight up, not go further away from the basket. He's got the height advantage, size advantage. Just go straight up.
Wolf back out to Scott. Cyclones reset the offense. Into the corner. Witt for three. No. Rebound controlled by Nichols and a reach in on Jackson Baber.
I think they're giving that to Scott. You say Baber got it?
I think so. I saw Baber's hand in there. And as usual, I'm wrong, and that's why I'm not wearing stripes.
Or maybe the stripes got it wrong. Probably not.
Yeah, they did.
We look at replays later after these games. Sometimes on those controversial calls, we find out the referees are usually right.
Lob pass inside for Lowe. Knocked away by Wolf inside. It'll stay with the Pioneers. 6:21 to play in the third.
Yeah, we were talking about this advantage that St. Francis has on the height on the inside, but Wolf and the rest of Cornerstone is absolutely not intimidated by that height.
Malone back out. Here's Stuckey firing a three. That's off the mark.
Yeah, that's not going to get you back in the game shooting threes like that. You got to drive it in.
Making threes like that would get you back in the game. There's a difference.
Yeah, they're shooting 15% from out there so far today.
Hennard down the lane, lays it in.
You know, I'm going to say Hennard is underrated only because he doesn't handle the ball quite as much as everybody else on this team, but boy, he's tough inside, strong. Almost over the rim on that layup. Good steal
There's a
here.
knock away by Baber. And a steal by the Cyclones.
This is a solid Cornerstone team. How do you not pick them to win this state championship after this kind of a game?
Witt for three.
There's the made three that you wanted.
I don't think the Pioneers wanted that made three. Bell. Over to Malone, floats one in, no, and Baber the defensive board for the Cyclones. Cyclones over the timeline as Wolf hangs on to it and directs traffic. Works around a screen, down the lane, layup on the rim, no, but he will go to the line as Nichols got him on the arm.
You know, he missed his good defense to a point, right? Made him miss the shot, but dropped his arm down, and then the ref called it. Whether there was contact or not, the ref's going to make that call every time when you drop the ball, when you drop the arm over the ball like that.
Cade Wolf, 3 of 4 from the line so far, and this one is good.
It's a good-sized crowd here today.
Well, it's definitely growing. Brent McLean comes in for the Pioneers along with Demarion Walls. One more free throw for Wolf. It's good. Jack Clark will check in for the Cyclones. And Cade Wolf will get a nice hand from the fans who have made their way here to SEFCU Arena, the supporting Cornerstone Christian tonight.
He might get more than the 58-second breather this time.
Malone. Drops back to Lowe, runs in, blocking foul against the Cyclones, and Lowe will shoot two.
And that's the only way that the St. Francis is going to get back in the game, especially with Lowe. Drive it in, take the shot, make the shot, or get fouled. Try to get points on the board without the clock running. And nobody can, his height and his leaping ability, nobody's going to be able to get up there with him, especially now with Wolf off the court.
So Brandon Lowe Jr. at the line makes the first of two. 3 points on the evening thus far.
Jack Clark, who went in, is only 5'7".
Second one back of the rim, no. And Clark will grab the rebound. Smallest guy on the floor gets the rebound. Scott down the lane. Witt out of the corner to Clark. Flips it back. Stolen away by the Pioneers' Bell.
And stolen back.
Stolen back by Clark.
Clark lost it. Clark got it back.
One of those intangibles that we were talking about with some of the people from Cornerstone that he brings to the floor when he gets to come in. Here's a steal by McLean.
Yeah, great anticipation on that steal. Going to launch another three.
Malone for three. That's off the mark. Rebound comes out long. And a blocking foul as Bell was pushed by Scott. Three on Connor Scott, so he's going to have a seat. Cade Wolf back in for the Cyclones, and Scott will check out.
Good substitution, 3 fouls, give him a breather. Jack Clark seems to be playing well.
Brent McLean drives to the baseline. Tries to throw into the corner. It's knocked away by Austin Hennard. And Hennard, Henard on the spelling. And it will be Pioneer basketball. Malone gets the inbounds pass. Back out top to Bell. Crosses over Hennard. Open for a moment, now down the lane. Pass blocked away by Wolf, stolen by Hennard. Wolf spins down the lane, had it knocked away, down on the floor. He's going to get tied up. Jump ball will be called, and the alternate possession belongs to St. Francis de Sales.
St. Francis did a good job. He was driving down the lane and then spun back the other way, and then he was able to get double teamed, and that's why he lost the ball, but he was quick to get back on top of it. So at least the possession arrow is why they lost the ball, not because of a turnover.
Aiden Stuckey over the timeline. And a push call.
Yeah,
yep, it's going to be up. It's going to be a push on Bader. Bader picks up his second. That's 5 now against the Cyclones. Low.
Oh, it's tipped away.
Knocked away. Clark with the steal. Bounce pass to Wolf. Layup good.
Can't run that break any better than that.
8 points for Cade Wolf.
Yeah, I didn't think anybody thought Jack Clark was going to make that layup, but he made a great pass underneath the Wolf.
Stuckey on the other end with a floater good, and he's got 6. 51-18, Cornerstone. Clark works around a Wolf screen, gets double teamed. Drops it back to Wolf, top of the key, to Clark. Into the corner for Baber.
I like this. St. Francis is coming out and double teaming more often now than before.
Wolf dribbles down the lane. Pass stolen away. Lowe got to it. Drops it back. Stuckey's 3. Short. Rebound inside. McLean layup good.
Well, I'm glad that went in because on that break, Malone was wide open under the basket and no pass.
And a timeout called by Cornerstone with 2:25 to play here in the third quarter. They'll take a full timeout. We'll take one as well. Cornerstone 51, St. Francis de Sales 20 on the NFHS television network.
He's going to take it himself for a championship. A double play wins it from Frazier.
Turn it to the end zone. What a catch. McKay's on touchdown.
Into the layup goes at the buzzer.
Frazier wins it. The championship.
Back at CEFCU Arena, L.A. Decker, along with Bob Vilsett.
So the lead was 26 points at half, and now it's 31. So St. Francis is just not going to make any inroads into this lead. 31-point lead, you got to figure is pretty insurmountable going into the fourth quarter, just 2 minutes away from it.
During the regular season, there was the 30-point rule where if a team was ahead by 30 points, the clock would run. It does not take effect in the state championship tournament.
Yeah, it reminds you of those old days when you're a kid and you get ahead by 10 or 20 points, then you have to turn off the press.
Cyclones have the basketball following a timeout. As Wolf comes over the timeline, he gets hit from behind by Stuckey. Reach and foul will be his 3rd. Kevin Jackson comes in for the Pioneers. He replaces Aiden Stuckey. Connor Scott over the timeline left side. Off to Wolf. Wolf hands off to Baber. Entered top of the key to Witt. Back to the top and Wolf. Very disciplined offense, not getting themselves out of control.
Well, and their spacing is perfect. Makes it real difficult to double team anything.
Very reminiscent almost of the North Carolina four corners offense run by Dean Smith years ago. That was pre-shot clock era for those who are old school basketball fans. Wolf. Henner traveled to the basketball. That's the only way. The only way they're going to give up the ball in that case, and that was what the Pioneers were able to force as a turnover. So they have the ball back as Connor Scott will come out of the lineup. Jack Clark back in.
Yeah, and I don't think Cornerstone is trying to run a four corners offense to finish the game out. I think they're just eating up a lot of time waiting for somebody to make a defensive mistake, and that's not a shot that's going to work.
Malone's three is off the mark. Baber the rebound.
That's one of those that you said earlier, no, 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 yes.
That's a no, 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 no.
That's right.
Wolf against Walls. Double team against Austin Hennard, and now pass knocked away as Brent McLean knocks it out of bounds. It will stay with the Cyclones. 65 seconds remaining here in the third. Jackson Baber back to Wolf, and a push foul called against the Pioneers. It'll be on Brent McLean, his second. 4 now against St. Francis de Sales.
Yeah, it might not be so bad to get Cornerstone into the foul bonus situation. If they miss the free throws, you can get the ball back. Right now, the patience is just excellent. They're not getting turnovers except for that one travel call and certainly no steals. They are trying to reach in.
Wolf bounced over Tate Witt.
The ball movement is quick, and the passes are all fundamentally sound.
Inside Baber. On the glass, no. Rebound taken down by Lowe. And a carry violation as he came over the timeline to turn it back over to Cornerstone.
Yeah, ref's a little tight on that travel earlier on this carry here.
Nice to see the upper bowl now being used here at CEFCU Arena tonight. Should be a good crowd for our second contest. Oswego East taking on Moline for the 4A Super Sectional title. Clark dribbled it off the leg of the defender, Demarion Walls. It will stay with the Cyclones. 25 and a half remaining here in the third. Hennard to Wolf for three. No. Controlled by Witt. Clark, 15-footer. Bank, no. But he will go to the line to shoot two.
Yeah, the Cornerstone players like that. Clark, who doesn't score a lot, gets a chance to score from the free throw line here.
So the 5'7" senior Jack Clark will step to the line to shoot two. 12 seconds remaining here in the period. First one is good.
And that's the loudest cheer of the day.
Pretty close. I think when they went to halftime, it might have been a little louder. Second one on the way. That rolls off.
Well, at least gets 1 point in the stats.
McLean over the timeline. Inside, Walls will put one up. On the rim, no. Rebound, Wolf to Clark. Lead pass to Witt. He fires it, but it's after the buzzer. And we are through three quarters at CEFCU Arena with the score. Cornerstone 52, St. Francis de Sales 20 on the NFHS television network.
This NFHS Network Championship event is brought to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors.
Back at CEFCU Arena, L.A. Decker, Bob Villicent with you as we are getting set for the fourth quarter in this 1A Super Sectional contest. Cornerstone Christian is 8 minutes away from their first trip ever in their 22-year history to the state championship in Champaign.
Yeah, the unfortunate thing now about this game is you're in the fourth quarter down by 32. You probably cannot catch up no matter what you do, so you have to make things look respectable and give it everything that you can. So, obviously, St. Francis has had a good year to get to this point, but Cornerstone is just too tough at both ends.
Baber got it.
Good drive and pass.
Jackson Baber 10 unofficially. Here's Stuckey down the lane. Left-handed shot on the back of the rim, no. With the rebound knocked out of bounds, it went off of one of the Cyclones. It will stay with the Pioneers.
Demarion Walls jumped over the back and knocked it off of him.
And apparently they are using the running clock.
Oh, no.
Here's a knockaway by Wolf and a steal. Lead pass ahead, Scott. Layup, no. And a foul coming up against St. Francis de Sales.
Well, not that they're going to catch up 32 points behind or 34 points behind, but if you foul people and put them on the line, a lot of the clock goes off. So there's going to be about 5 fouls from now, and the game will be over. I certainly don't like to see the running clock not in the state championship game, but this is not technically downstate state championship. It's just the final 8.
First one good by Connor Scott. That's 15 points for him unofficially. Second one on the way and good as well. Connor Scott with 16. Bell down the lane. Kicked into the corner. 3 from Walls. No good. Rebound, Wolf. Nice job sealing out as he took the 6'7" Cyril Nichols out of the rebound opportunity. Wolf drops it off for Connor Scott. He'll wheel one up. That's blocked by Lowe and stolen back by Stuckey. Ahead to Walls, to Lowe, and he'll throw it down.
I like how he politely just dropped it in.
Yep. 56-22, Cornerstone. Austin Hennard with the finger roll, no. Baber went inside, had it stripped away and stolen by Bell. Bell takes it inside, blocked away by Wolf, but a foul against the Cyclones' big man.
Yeah, when you have a running clock, you almost want to shy away from the foul. Then you're at the free throw line, too much time goes by. From the player's perspective, too, it's a valuable 8 minutes you want to play. And if you're at the free throw line, well, you don't feel like you're playing.
First one by Bell is good. That gives him 5 in the contest. One more coming up for the 5'10 junior. It's on the way and good. 6 points for Eddie Bell Jr. 5 minutes remaining in this one.
All right, here's what we wanted to see. St. Francis pressing. Cornerstone didn't get a layup.
Connor Scott with a reverse no. Rebound by Stuckey. To Lowe. Wave off the shot. Blocking foul called before he got the shot away. But it will be the 7th team foul against Cornerstone. Cade Wolf has now got 4. It'll be a 1-and-1 coming up for Brandon Lowe Jr. Lowe had 2 free throws in the third quarter and split the pair. First one no good, and the rebound taken down by Wolf. Ahead to Scott, to Tate Witt. Bader back to Wolf between the circles, and a reach-in foul coming up against Cyril Nichols.
Again, Cornerstone with real quick passes. It's not like they get the ball and then start dribbling and look for next open guy. They're always looking for the next open guy to pass it right away. It makes it real tough to rotate on defense.
Jamari Malone comes in for the Pioneers. He replaces Cyril Nichols, and it'll be Cade Wolf at the line shooting the 1-and-1. Makes the free throw, and the rebound taken down by Demarion Walls. Low over the timeline. Looks inside for Walls. Goes up over Wolf and lays it in. First basket of the contest for Walls. 56-26.
Here's the layup time,
for Witt.
Cornerstone knows how to break presses. Couple quick passes, down court, a layup.
8 points for Tate Witt as Bell drives in. Kicks it out to Malone, back to Bell. Down the lane, his shot short, but a foul is, again, on the follow-through. The hand got hit.
Yeah, they needed to do that before it became a running clock.
Tate Witt picks up the foul, and now an entire line change looking like it's going to get ready to come in at the next opportunity.
So they'll get 2 minutes of running clock.
Free throw by Eddie Bell is good. And we'll catch you up on the subs that come in. Caleb Enescu kicks in, 6-foot junior. Caden Smith, a 6-foot senior, checks in. Noah Bricker, 6-foot senior, checks in. And the second free throw is good as well by Bell.
Did you get Caleb Enescu?
I did get Enescu, yes. Noah Bricker, a young man I'm familiar with. I coached him during summer baseball one year, or fall baseball actually one year. I got a feather in my cap, I guess. Greg Monroe in for the Pioneers. Also, Zaire Harper is checked in for head coach Jawan Nelson. Here's Bricker firing a three. That's short. Jack Clark, the offensive board.
I love that name, Bricker, for a basketball player shooting a three.
I don't know if you want that. I'm just being honest. Minute and 20 to play in this one. Scott drops it down low, Enescu. The timeout's going to be called just to get the substitution, and they want to get one more player in. 6'4" junior Will Toma is going to check in.
I like that.
And they are going to take the timeout.
Nice classy move from John Shippert, head coach.
They're going to keep playing. They charge them with a full timeout. They charge them with a timeout only to get the substitutions in. So we'll go right back to play with 1:14 to play in this one.
You just never know the next two games if they're going to have time to do that again. Although the way that they're playing, I wouldn't be surprised if they can't do this again 2 more times.
Bricker, 19-footer. Nope. Rebound knocked away into the hands of Clark. Jack Clark goes cross court. Finds Smith into the corner for Bricker. Cornerstone Christian, a program that's only been around for just over 2 decades, won their first regional this year, their first sectional this year, and now will add a super sectional trophy to the trophy case on the east side of Bloomington.
Yeah, and I don't think Cornerstone's going to shoot again in this game. There's no point to it. They're not getting pressed by St. Francis in any way. No sense in making a windmill dunk or a dunk off the backboard at the end or even a three-point shot. This has been a masterful game for Cornerstone today.
They controlled the tempo throughout, and they made St. Francis de Sales play their style of play, and they will punch a ticket to Champaign later this week and will play for the very first state championship in school history at Cornerstone Christian Academy. The Cyclones have beaten the Pioneers by the final of 58-28, and Cyclone Nation celebrates a super sectional championship. Congratulations to both teams. St. Francis de Sales, an outstanding job getting to this point and extending their season despite their sub-500 record. Hats off to head coach Jawan Nelson and his entire coaching staff on getting to this point to get to Redbird Arena. But again, also congratulations to head coach John Shippert and the Cyclones of Cornerstone Christian Academy of Bloomington. They will play for the state championship in Champaign.
Boy, they cut the net down already. I like the excitement on the side, right in front of the fan base. They played a masterful game.
So your final score, once again, 58-28. Cornerstone Christian over St. Francis de Sales of Chicago. We're back to wrap this one up after this on the NFHS Television Network.